what are we waiting for? Unfortunately, I have to apologize. I'm not giving you the answer. I hope to make this question even stronger in all your heads, because what we found out is too good to be true, but we triple-checked it, and it's really true. So, let's go. The title is Minimizing Energy Losses in the Industrial Processes. So we very much focus on environments like power plants, chemical plants. We had touched a little bit already. And of course, the mineral oil refineries is something where we do a lot of technical or industrial insulation, and ROCKWOOL technical insulation is, of course, one of the material producers in this field. ROCKWOOL is one of our 12 founding partners. Today, we have 54 companies all around Europe, one from Saudi Arabia. So it's a little bit of a success story, and we are quite proud of it. And ROCKWOOL is one of the initiators and one of our most powerful members. So big thank you also to ROCKWOOL giving me the opportunity to say that on a stage. Okay, we did a study, how large is the energy saving potential of industrial insulation throughout European intensive industry, or industry in itself. At that time, it was 27 member states. Today, it's 28. You find the reference in this CSR report. We are somehow celebrating today here. So please read it. And we found out that, Marta said it, 100 petajoules is the target till 2020 for the Netherlands. We were looking on the potential of just insulation, industrial insulation. So, but you know, you have a strong industry here. It's 620 petajoules. Anyone of you having an idea how much 620 petajoules is? Is it more than the Dutch industry is consuming throughout the year, or is it less? So now the question is it less than the entire Dutch industry is consuming every year? Who's for being less? Is it more? This was a little bit of a tricky question. It's exactly the amount the Dutch industry is consuming every year. But isn't that, sorry, I need to click twice. So isn't that a big thing? By insulating industrial plants up to cost-effective levels, we can save 620 petajoules, the whole energy you're consuming in this country with a powerful industry. And to translate it also into the building picture, this is the equivalent which we consume in about 10 million households. So this is not peanuts. The question is right, what are we waiting for? It's out there. Actually, we did this study, but someone else did it some years before, in 2007, 2008. You find it in one of the first CSR reports from ROCKWOOL also. It was done by McKinsey for Vattenfall. And what they were looking at was which technologies can help us to reduce a ton of CO2, and what are the costs. And all you find below this line is very cost effective, meaning saving money rather than costing money. So on this, we talk about investments. We don't talk about costs. And which one is the best in class? Insulation. And to tell you a secret, industrial insulation was not even considered. This bar would even be by far larger if they had looked also into insulation potential of plants. But what are we talking about when we talk about financial aspects? We mainly talk about the 10% of anything that can be insulated in an industrial plant is not insulated at all or covered with damaged insulation like this. And this is where we find really large and very cost-attractive potentials, increasing the competitiveness of our industry. And as it was said before, we will never compete in Europe with the energy prices we have in other regions, areas of this world. For instance, the US. I think the US have produced more oil than ever in the last year. If we want to stay competitive, if we want to keep our industry and our living standard here, we have to do something, and I think energy efficiency is one of the answers. So what are we waiting for? And we also asked Ecofys, can you please challenge the cost aspect of industrial insulation? And this is where we asked them 3 times, please check if these figures are true. If I invest 1 billion one time, I can save every year 3.5 billion. Nice share. Is that really true? They triple-checked, and yes, it's true. We find it in our first energy audits where we do examples. Payback times for industrial insulation are usually between some month or 12 months. So 12 months and below. In the year of the investment, you get your money paid back. What are we waiting for? It's always coming with multiple benefits. It's not only saving energy, there's more to win. So one thing is, first of all, we reduce safety risks. Of course, you can imagine ROCKWOOL produces material to help keep surface temperatures with a medium temperature of 600 degrees. The surface temperature, keep it at 50 degrees, so if you touch it, you're not burned immediately. It, of course, improves the working environment. It makes a big difference if you work in a plant where you have 40 degrees or 24 degrees. It can help to improve process efficiency. We had just a refinery example where we did a tip check in Singapore. After the installation, they could get rid of one boiler. One entire boiler was not needed anymore. And the other things we said before. But first of all, it increases competitiveness as it is a reduction of production cost. This is first of all. Again, I need to ask you, what is industry waiting for? Why are we not tapping this potential immediately? Losing every day a hell of an energy. There we see also a lot of multiple benefits. You've all heard about Legionella issues in the HVAC, so heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, well insulated. You don't have these. Sound protection, I don't know how you felt when you were in the introduction, when you had the coffee. It was quite loud out there. It's a nice building, but there's improvement possible. And of course, fire protection is a big issue. And indoor air quality, we all know that. So let's not wait, let's get active. Thank you very much for your attention.
Can you give some things that you think, this is the biggest things we gain by, biggest steps to move on?
Well, I think we need more events like this. So first of all, it's a lack of awareness.
Industry, by whom?
By the relevant people in industry. Insulation as such is seen as a necessary evil, not as a best available technology. I also have to admit, our own branch has the worst salesman in the world. Sorry for saying that, because with such a story, we should make better business.
My name is Leo Veldhuis. I'm president of the Dutch Contractor Association in thermal insulation for the industry. Moreover, 200 companies involved with that, more over 100 years. Moreover, selling the best business, otherwise we didn't exist in 100 years. And we agree with Andreas, the awareness of the industry. It's always a fight, price, price, price. And now we have told you about the price and regaining it. It's very good to make a first call to me. And then you get all over you our whole associations. ROCKWOOL is one of the companies, is the main supplier of industrial insulation to our totally branch. Well good organized, with well organized people. And we have good sales managers. And we have good sales directors. Otherwise, I'm not existing with my family.
But do you use this story? These facts, do you use it actually?
Yes, it's a help for us. Because we are contractors. And normally, every contractor, also in the building industry, they follow their regulations and their designs of constructors, of engineering companies, of the companies themselves. And they have a lot of profit when they can increase the insulation thicknesses. But it's well said by Mr. Wientjes, you need a moment of time, because industrial plants, they have to continually the business turning on. A Shell cannot say, well, we close our factory today for better insulation. You do that in their program.
I'll get back to see if there's solutions. Sorry for intervening, jullie, but thank you very much for this great pitch. Thank you, bye-bye.
And having the introduction, we had introduction talks with Hanni, thanks very much. What I experienced already is the passion and the commitment, because that's what we definitely share. Personally, I think, in this topic. When we talked about corporate social responsibility, and you're right, it is a very broad topic. There are many subjects covered by it. So there was quite a challenge to see how can we select some topics Philips is doing at the moment in short time. We also said in our buildings on site, we need, well, there's a clear, how do you say it, a requirement that non-combustible insulation materials are used. And this is, by the way, not only by our own sites, we also extend this policy, and that is always a work in progress, is that you also do it to the outbound facilities like distribution centers. Because also there are people working in an environment, you want to have it safe, and you store the products and you want also that they are not by fire destroyed.